Island. It's actually called Rock of Gibraltar, my first start in the film business. So I want to take you back about 31 years to 1987, and 1,000 miles east to Long Island. That's the year I graduated from college, and that's the year I started in the film business. So I made a few films in college, and one of them was entered into a film festival on Long Island. And at that festival, I met a man named Christopher Cook. He happened to be the location scout for film companies who would come to Long Island and want to film. He says, Greg, there's going to be a film shooting in the Hamptons this summer. It was perfect. It was right after I finished film school. I said, I have to apply. So I quickly typed a cover letter to go along with my newly minted resume. And I drove out to West Hampton Beach where they had set up their film offices. I didn't want to mail in the resume. So luckily, the woman saw me. She interviewed me right on the spot. And she let me explain that I would like to have a position assisting the camera department or the sound department, something technical. She listened politely and said, well, we don't have anything right now, but I'll call you if anything comes up. Of course, I was disappointed, but I felt the interview went well, and I was confident in my abilities. I knew how to make films. I knew how to handle cameras, but this was a real movie, not a student film. So a couple of weeks go by, the first day of filming arrives, and I'm not there. But I got a call that afternoon. She says, I've got a job for you. We need someone to watch the equipment trucks in the parking lot, make sure no one steals any equipment. Wasn't exactly the job I wanted, but I knew this was an in, and I was not going to say no. I said yes. She said, good, be at the motel where the crew is staying at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I was out of my mind excited. The next morning I arrive, and the first person I see I announce myself to, and it turned out to be a guy named Daniel Lupi, who was the unit production manager on the film. He says, right away, he hands me a walkie-talkie. He says, you're not watching the parking lot. You're going to be working with the assistant directors. A promotion already. I'd just gotten there. He says, get in that van over there with the rest of the crew, and we're going to head over to the set. So I get in. I'm all excited. It's about a 15-minute ride over to the beach where we're going to film. Daniel Lupi is on the walkie-talkie the whole time. Remember, no cell phones. So we get to the beach, and we pile out of the van, and he walks over to me and grabs the walkie-talkie. You're not going to work with the assistant directors. You are the camera production assistant. The camera truck's over there. Go report to the second assistant. I couldn't believe it. It's like the perfect job. This is exactly what I wanted. So I go over to the camera truck, and there's the second assistant camera woman. Her name is Claudia, and she's part of a team of crack German camera crew. And the film business is like the military. I report to the second assistant camera, she reports to the first, and the first reports to the director of photography. Claudia starts training me immediately. Now the second assistant camera woman, her main job is to load the film magazines, has to be done in total darkness, and get those to the camera department. The first assistant puts that on the film camera, and now you're ready to roll. Her other job is to do the slate, what the Germans like to call the clapper. So I learned pretty quickly, and she kept giving me more and more responsibilities. So one of those was to do the slate, and it was great. I could be in front of the camera with all the actors and the director, and scene 7, take 1, and then get out of the frame as quickly as possible. Everything was going really, really well. This was just unbelievable. Right out of film school, it was like a dream job. Everything was going perfectly until one day it wasn't. You see, there were some famous actors on this movie, the most important of which was Burt Lancaster, and this would be his final film. And we were about to shoot one of his scenes, and the camera's there, the set's all there, the props are in place, and call him Burt Lancaster's in a wheelchair. He's right there, and we're going to do a close-up on him. The assistant director's, quiet on the set, we're about to roll. A moment later, roll sound. The sound man goes, speed. Roll camera. Assistant camera goes, rolling. Now it's my turn. I've got to put the slate right in front of Burt Lancaster's face because it's a close-up. My turn. Scene 23, take 1. Everyone freezes. Time seems to stop. My dry erase marker had fallen into Burt Lancaster's lap when I hit the slate. What am I going to do? I can't reach into Burt Lancaster's lap. But film is burning. This thing, it's expensive. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. So anyway, finally, the moment lasted forever, but Burt Lancaster says, don't worry about it, kid. You'll be fine. Hands me the marker. I say thanks and run out of the frame as fast as I could. I don't know if they had to do another take. I hear cut, print it, move on. I put this back in the slate and make sure it never falls out again. And that was my first job in the film business.